What about China and the GCC as well? We know the political and economic links have been deepening over the last couple of years. What's the opportunity for your firm here, given this new partnership with this leading Chinese investment bank?
Yeah. So indeed, we are quite excited with the partnership we have set up in place with CNBC Capital. Let me just say that the changing geopolitics have resulted in the rerouting of trade. Rerouting of trade very, very quickly follows rerouting of capital. And that's what we're seeing. An immense quantum of appetite from institutions in Asia to invest in the Middle East and vice versa. It is that corridor, not just a corridor of trade, but corridor of capital of what BlueFive, and I hope many other institutions will start to tap into. Dan, let me touch on a very important photo that we all have seen last week, which I think will have probably the most profound impact, particularly around that China-Middle East route, which is the very warm handshake between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi. That is the rapprochement of two of the world's largest economies and most populous economies will have an incredible positive ripple economic effect throughout Asia and more specific, and also specifically around the GCC.
Okay, so expand on that for me. If that handshake unlocks a new type of capital flow, then what's the opportunity for you, and where specifically do you want to be investing? Give me some specific sectors that are going to benefit as a result of these improving trade ties.
Exactly. So they are between China and India alone. First of all, there is an incredible level of rapprochement and affinity between those two ginormous economies and the Middle East. Second of all, historically, or at least hopefully going forward, there's going to be an approachment between those two nations, in aggregate between the two of them. That's nearly 3 billion population. The GCC can play a very important role, specifically around financial services, around providing capital to many of the industrial sectors, but also infrastructure sectors, which particularly in many parts across the corridor, the India-China corridor, would benefit from.
Hazem, some would say you're quite brave in this environment as well, because the political uncertainty is also running high. You say it's an opportunity, but at the same time here, we have the US asking the Europeans to hit China and India with a 100% tariff. And then at the same time, the US and China are in an effective economic competition. Some would even say war. The US also directly targeting India with 50% tariffs for buying Russian crude. So how do you invest around this geopolitical noise and all of the uncertainty coming from this White House?
Yeah. So first, I should say, Dan, we have 2 months ago closed the largest private equity fund ever raised in the Gulf, a $2 billion BlueFive Reef PE fund. If anything, that's a strong testament of the opportunity across the global South, not just in the GCC, across the global South. In periods of uncertainty, that's where certain opportunities get unlocked. And that's where we are seeing across many different sectors, across certain activity, both not just in China, but also in Southeast Asia and in the Middle East. It is that dynamic change in markets, both on the political and economic front, that provides us as investors the ability to go in and hopefully take advantage of those situations. You require local access, you require local presence and the local resources to understand both the situations carefully, and I hope that is what we at BlueFive will be able to offer our investors.